has 2 selfie sticks. She got 3 to pick. So if you do want a selfie stick,
do you guys want to chronicle my time at GDC with the selfie stick? Like, do you want me to, like, every major famous developer I have, just be like, it's for the club, I promise.
Don't forget to connect with YouTubers who you know will be there.
Right. No, I know. No. Seth has been hounding me to get up with MatPat, the guy who did Game Theory. He really wants me to get in touch with MatPat. He really wants me to. No, yeah. I know who you're talking about, though. Yeah.
You know the people who are giving, who give tips on making games?
Extra credits?
Extra credit. Are they going to be there?
That's this guy.
What?
That's this guy. He's the lead writer for Extra Credits.
No, is he going to be at the GDC?
Oh yeah, probably. Like he says, like James is a super big, but you know that like that's this guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's coming to give a lecture on Monday.
I'm going.
Okay, good.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, no, yeah. James Portnoy, like it's the kind of event that James Portnoy would speak at. Like he would give a thing over like I don't know, he's a really big, does a lot of analysis on like microtransactions in games and stuff. So like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so it's pretty exciting. I'll try to chronicle, like I'm gonna chronicle it for you guys like live. So if you guys want to follow up on how I'm doing, it'll all be there up there for you. How do you guys feel versus like a blog versus like a vlog? Like what if I did like a video every day versus like a blog every day? Which one would you guys watch? You don't like reading.
You would need to have a nice
Vlog?
There you go.
You guys have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we do have, they'd go on the GDC channel, so. What?
Do a vlog and then
A vlog and you write a blog.
Then you could write the transcript.
And then transcript it into the, where it just like, is every third word. It's like.
And the vlog is watching.
Yeah. What's up?
Tweet your adventures during the day. When you get done, back to your hotel room, do a vlog if you would like to, or like on your way out.
Awesome. All right.
Dinner with people.
Yeah. Huh?
video people at the event.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna be like, yeah, don't worry. Maybe I will take a selfie stick, so I can just be like. Like the entire time, just like, oh my God, that's Cliff B! Holy shit!
You won't make it back.
What is the next item in the meeting?
Okay, yeah. So, sorry about all that. Yeah. So now we'll actually yeah. Well, sorry about that. Now you guys know what all that stuff is going on. But yeah. So welcome to GDC meeting. I think this is 3. GDC meeting 3, because meeting 0 we don't count. So yeah, meeting 3, 3rd meeting. I'm counting this year. This year's title is, I didn't make a presentation. So we were at a game jam in Kansas State. Actually drove down to Kansas State this weekend and competed there. Competed. We didn't submit our game, but it was really cool. So I didn't have time to prepare for this. But that's actually what we're going to talk about. So I don't have a presentation or anything because I actually want this one to be more like discussion based. Because I think this is going to help you guys if you guys are making games for the minigame thing, for the minigame framework that we have. This will help you guys a lot with that. However, it's not just a skill that's important for that. It's actually a skill that's important if you're making games at all. So how many of you guys have heard of prototyping? And I'm not looking at you, but I will. Keep them up.
This is my second favorite game.
Okay, so prototyping is one of the, okay, I'm looking. Okay, not too many. So. The definition of the word is the exact same thing here. A prototype is something that you build as a proof of concept for something that you want to either make or design or create in some sort of way. So every computer, every phone that you've ever used, that's had a prototype. Someone was like, when the iPhone came out, Steve Jobs would have had like what was up on stage was more than likely a prototype. It's not working necessarily, but it gives a proof of concept. It's like, it makes it physical. It makes your ideas easy to convey. And so it's actually one of the most important skills that you can have in video games. The idea of a prototype is the exact same idea of how you would pitch to somebody at, say, like a business meeting where you're trying to get funding from them. Or you're at the career fair and you want to show them some cool mechanic that you came up with, right? It's never a full game. It's never, you don't have any story. It oftentimes doesn't have any art. Like, it's literally just the gray cubes that you use in Unity. It'll just be made of those. But it has the programming and everything behind it to get across the mechanic. So my favorite, talking about like Super Metroid or any Legend of Zelda game, all those items that you get, they were all started out with a prototype. So Legend of Zelda, you guys all know the hook shot, right? The hook shot, they would have been like, hey, I have this cool idea for a way for Link to get around the map. It's not anything, it's not the Pegasus boots, he's not going to be running, but instead it's this machine, it's this just trinket thing that shoots across, it grabs onto the other side and it pulls him across, like a grappling hook, but like way stronger and actually like rip somebody's arm off in real life. But like that's how it's going to work. And so whoever came up with this idea, they make this little level that just uses the hook shot. That's all that's in it. They maybe grab the Link, player controller from wherever else so that you can control them around, and then they program up this one tool, and then they build a room that like shows off that tool. So let's say they would build a room that just had it was just one square room, and then they have a pit right in the middle, but the other side is the hook, like the hook shot grabbable items, and then Link is spawned on the other way. It gets the idea across, right? They'd plop him in, you'd be like, okay, press A, shoots the hook shot, and then it'd go across. It's not a full game. It just shows off the idea of the hook shot. That's really important in video games, and especially for you guys if you guys are thinking or going to make a game for this minigame framework, because that's more or less what you're creating, right? And so now is where I'm going to actually give you guys a little bit of an idea of like a first-hand account. Remember how I said we were just at Kansas State for Game Jam? The reason we did not submit is not because we didn't make a game. We weren't able to build it in time. So we put the game together and then we clicked, okay, like compile, not actually make the game. Like the Unity export.exe. Like that was taking too long because we had textures that were like 2,000 by 1,000, like 1,500 by 700 like things just for like, it actually rendered out like this big on the screen, but it was compressing like a 2K file down to that. And so it didn't work. But that's not really the point. The point is that game jams are like a lot of small prototypes. You don't make a full game. You don't have UI. You don't have a bunch of different like art necessarily. You can if you bring an artist along, and then you can make the prototype make more sense or like get the idea of them better in their minds. But game jam games are often just a bunch of small prototypes. Like, hey, I have this fun idea. Let's program it up real quick and then stick it in. Yeah.
I have a question. So how complicated can a prototype be?
So a prototype can be as complex as the idea.
Well, because there's, you guys know Amnesia, right?
Yep.
You guys have heard of
Yeah, okay, you guys know what Amnesia is, right?
Okay, so the developers created their own physics engine, and before they made Amnesia, they made like a series of games called Penumbra, but that was originally just like a thing to test the engine. So would that count as a prototype?
Yes.
Yeah, they were eventually developed into full games, so they themselves are not prototypes, but like the starting point of that would have been a prototype.
It's pretty complicated because I had to test a full engine, so I was just wondering, like, if that counted as a prototype.
It's a really advanced prototype, but yes, it is a type of prototype. Yeah.
Another way you can do prototyping is where you've got a group of people who have a bunch of ideas, and you have one person who's not the best programmer. You've got a senior programmer, but the senior programmer has to work on a whole bunch of things. So what the junior programmer will do is they'll take a piece of that big puzzle and they will write a bunch of code. It looks ugly, it's crappy, but it works. And then the senior programmer can go in, see the code, follow the logic, and go, okay, let me incorporate that. And that itself is also a prototype.
Yeah. Prototypes never actually go into the end game. They always are just, like I said, okay, they shouldn't. There are games that have before in the past. I actually just read up on one that was like an old adventure game. But like, the idea is not that you make a finished product. It's just to get the idea across to somebody so that they can code it like in a good way, right? They can actually make it the way it's supposed to be made. Like in your guys' programming classes, like oftentimes you do those the night before they're due, right? Those would be prototypes. You would never put that into like a finished project. Like you make those and then you get it done fast, you get it done quick and dirty, you get it out. And so this weekend, when we were at when we were in Kansas doing this game, we'd actually mess around with a different prototype that I had seen before in games, where instead of drawing characters like on Illustrator or on paper or anything like that and then animating them, what I did was I took pictures of one of the teammates that we were with. Took pictures of them just against a red background. I cropped them out, and I took pictures of them like doing a walking animation, and then I put that into the game. I made them our animation. You guys have seen, like, you know Mortal Kombat, how it's like real people? It's like that. That's what I did. And that was the prototype. It was not well done. It was like Ryan hated that part. And it was just something that we wanted to try quick just to see if we could do it. It's like, it taught us a skill, right? It taught us how to do character animation. And so, we wanted to help you guys actually like see what it's actually like to make prototypes as opposed to making full-fledged games. And so the whole reason that we had you guys scoot forward this way is because since love is in the air and Valentine's Day is next Friday, we figured we guys are going to set you guys up. It's not Friday?
It's Sunday.
It's next Sunday, whatever. I don't have anybody tie me down. I'm good. Okay, but since love is in the air, Valentine's Day is next Sunday, we are going to send you guys on some speed dates. The way that this is going to be set up, and the reason we wanted you on these 2 rows is because we're going to have the first row turn around once we start the activity and everything like that. But we're going to have 3 different rounds of this. The first round, I want you guys to come up with a full-fledged game. Like, just a game idea. Any game idea, there's no theme, come up with anything. You guys will have 5 minutes to come up with an idea. The next round, we'll pair you up with somebody new. You guys each have a minute to describe the game to another person, and then, you guys each have 1 minute to describe the game to another person, and then you have 30 seconds to figure out which mechanic of your game is the most important one that you would want to get across to like a publisher or to a developer that you wanted to work for. And then, I will do that once we're like actually going. But we're actually recording these meetings now. So, yeah. So, okay. And then the final round will be, since they're only supposed to be small prototypes, and you're just supposed to be describing a single mechanic, the last round will be everybody saying what idea they came up with at the beginning, and then you guys will get a chance to see whoever you paired up with at the beginning, how different and what core mechanics you guys both found were important. Does this kind of make sense? The idea is to get across that games are made up of a bunch of small mechanics, a bunch of small little tiny parts, and that a great way to start practicing making games, or a great way to make games for our minigame framework, or just do small things, is to prototype. You just take a mechanic and you work on that, and then later you work it into a full game. Make sense? Okay, cool. So I'll write the rounds up on the board, but let's arrange these people okay, that one doesn't really have like a backwards. It does? It works out? How are they?
Chairs.
You added chairs? Okay, so then there's 3 people though. Chris, are you gonna do this? Yeah. Okay, it's still an odd number. Anthony, you wanna join in on this? Or wait, no, there's him.
8 people.
Yeah. Who wants a speed date with who wants a speed date with I don't know everybody's names yet. Okay. All right. Then you 2 can either stay there and talk, or actually, could you move over here? Yeah.
I've got like 3.
Sorry if this is awkward, but like you guys are friends. Like nobody bites, right?
I'm not friends with any of these people.
You can raise your hands if you bite. Like it's fine. What's up? Oh, you bite? Gotcha. I was like amnesia.
What are we doing?
Okay. Could you? I don't have anything way to do a timer. We'll do a 5-minute. Okay. Yeah. All right. So they're coming up with a game idea. Any game idea. Just they have 5 minutes to come up with a game idea. Make it as grand, make it as great as possible. Start the timer.
T-shirt should be in tomorrow.
Hey, you guys. YouTube or Twitch or whoever end up watching this. It won't be Twitch. It'll only be YouTube. But to everybody out there, if you guys want to leave a comment down below about any game idea or any prototype you've ever made, go ahead and feel free to leave it down in the comments. We'd love to hear them. We're not going to steal them. We're not going to do anything like that. But if you ever, definitely start a conversation about what prototyping means to you, or what prototypes you guys have ever made before. I'm going to go back up to the front and be a president, but yeah. Okay, everybody come up with good ideas? Everybody come up with bad ideas? Whatever ideas. Everybody come up with ideas, right? Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is each row is going to shift down 4 to their right.
That's one row.
No, each row. No, yeah, one row.
That's 8 space, yeah.
Yeah, I want 4 spaces in between like your partners so that you can't hear each other. Yeah, okay. So front row, you guys are just gonna shift forward this way, and then the 4 people on this end just come over here.
Back there, though.
Huh? Those 2 back. You used to secede from the union? Okay, that's fine. Okay, sure. All right.
There's 2 of us and then
You're like that. You guys are like if Maine seceded.
no, Rhode Island. Rhode Island.
That's
1 minute, and we'll have I'm gonna wait till everybody calms down.
All right, don't start yet. Don't start yet.
All right.
Don't start yet.
Okay. So the way this is gonna work, since front row had to move, back row has to go first. But the way it's gonna set up is both of you guys on both rows will have 1 minute to describe the entirety of their game to the other person. So
is the back row?
1 minute is the front row. Like all together, this will be 2 minutes, and then and then after that, we're gonna have like 1 maybe 2 minute section where you guys discuss what you think is the most important mechanic that you would want to show off to somebody, and then that would be what you prototype. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So minute starts now.
Go!
So hopefully you guys kind of got most of your ideas out. So now what we actually want is for you, both rows to now discuss what they like, which part of the other game they liked the most about the other person's thing. You guys only have like a minute, maybe a minute and a half to figure out, like, just say what you liked about the other person's idea, because that's whatever popped out of your mind the most, whatever seemed the most best.
Stood out.
What stood out? Right. The most best. Whatever seemed the most best. So yeah. And then after this, we're gonna go around to each person, and then you guys will just say what mechanic you guys would prototype to, tell a developer or something like that. So it'll just be everybody. It'll be real quick, and then we'll be out of time. So go. All right, I should really just get a gavel, but this works for now. All right, so the way it's gonna work out, do you guys wanna go as pairs together and then say which mechanics you both came up with on your own, or do you want to just be like one person at a time?
One person at a time.
One person at a time? All right. Trent, if you guys don't like that idea, throw Trent under a bus later. But yeah, so we'll go like each person on the same team, so it'll zigzag back and forth. So like whoever on this side goes, the person on the other side will go. We'll just start with you.
Okay.
And the idea is to keep it short, just the mechanic, not even like necessarily, unless the mechanic is based on the story, like keep it short, keep it sweet, like 10 seconds.
My idea was having like sort of like a game of civilization, but you're on a galactic scale. So you're trying to take over other planets.
Cool. Say like what I'm stumbling over words right now. But like, try to keep it down to like a mechanic that you guys think would actually like be prototype. Not necessarily like the entire idea of the game, more just like one specific part of the game that you would want to show off to somebody that makes your game unique, right? So, did you have anything? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it was basically a racing game, but the car can transform between a boat, plane, back to car kind of thing.
Great. Okay. And then we'll just zigzag back and forth. So you're up next, Austin. Stand up so the camera can see you.
Hi, I'm Austin.
Hello, Austin.
Honestly, I was just thinking like, mine was basically a story-driven game, so I guess it would have to be like just good storytelling mechanics and like movement.
Okay.
How fluid you can make things.
How would the
mesh
story be
together.
shown?
And you've already failed. I don't want to buy your game.
The environment would be a first-person adventure game like this.
Okay, gotcha. All right, then that's the mechanic you would have pitched. That's the mechanic you would have prototyped. Right. Okay.
No, all right, sit down.
All right. So other Austin.
Austin 2.
All right, everybody.
So you design a map, like let's say like I'm just doing a first level prototype. You just copy the level, so you have 2 copies of the level, and then the shadows that are cast in the first level give you access to the second level, but they're kind of mirrored, but there's like slight changes. So like this has like a broken light fixture, so then you access the other one, and then that opens up the portal to the next area kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
Light world, dark world kind of?
Yeah, almost like like a nice little dynamic with that. Cool. All right.
We actually came up with one together.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, go together.
I thought that's what
Yeah, I think that is what you're.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. If I made things confusing, just go with whatever you thought you were supposed to do.
Okay, so you can explain.
Stand up. Stand up.
Long story short, you collect different weapons to remove different body parts from people. Whoever has the most body parts at the end of the game, it's online. Whoever has the most body parts at the end of the game wins. Heads and hearts are worth more than like arms and legs.
That's awesome. That one's brutal. Holy shit. Or holy crap. I can't cuss. But yeah. All right. So yeah, you guys do whatever you thought you were supposed to do. Huh? I didn't want to repeat.
Okay, so our game is, in essence, like CSGO top-down, except it takes place in a maze, where the walls of the maze limit your visibility, but they can also be destroyed. And over the course of the match, the map will actually like shrink in size, like portions of it will actually fall away and kind of force people together in the middle.
Cool.
It's designed for like really quick, like 30-second to a minute rounds.
Awesome. So like a great way to like make that even smaller, like something that you would make even to like prove the idea would be the map. You would just be like, let's not even worry about the characters or the guns or anything. Let's just make the map that shrinks. That'd be a great, perfect prototype, and that'd be the start of your game, you know. And then you can build on that prototype and make it better and make it the next CS:GO.
You'd make the map, you'd make it shrink over time, and you could like, hey, push a button and this wall just explodes for some reason.
Yeah.
That would be a prototype. Like actually.
Perfect.
All right.
Cool. All right. Next team.
So I guess I'm Cole Hinker. This is my first meeting here.
Oh, cool. Welcome. Hello, Cole. One of us.
And I guess we came up with like a kind of a dungeon type game or something where you're trying to infiltrate a castle. And I guess a good prototype could be just to try to we're thinking about jumping and stuff. So trying to get up to higher platforms or jumping for like a ladder or a vine and trying to grab that, or just trying like different things. And see, like slippery slopes or something like that.
Yeah.
Different things to try out.
Like just like one level that doesn't have it just has a bunch of all the small mechanics, like all those things. All right, yeah, that'd be a perfect prototype. Great. Cool. Next team.
So the plot is a huge part of the game overall. It's set at the conference you're going to. You're the main character, and you go around carrying people's hearts out to give to your true love at the end. Valentine's Day themed. You ride around in either a little Segway or one of those adorable tiny scooters that's like covered in hearts and stuff. And you just are collecting hearts to give to your true love so they'll fall in love with you.
Mortal Kombat style.
It's first person, and you like grab their shoulder and rip out their heart. And you can also have like a grappling hook to tear out people's hearts, or like one of those old people extending.
Is this like further away?
Simulator where you can't get found out, or you
It's weird
ramping?
kind of both. Kind of both.
I think it could be really hilarious if instead of hearts, you're going around collecting selfies with famous people. That conference, like,
violent.
We wanted violence. Violence sells guys.
There's 40 levels of like people you're after. Blind people can't detect you.
Okay.
And then there's non-athletic people, and then there's athletic people, and that determines how quickly they can get to a phone. Once they get to a phone, they call the police, who can then come and kill you.
Okay, so what's the prototype of that? That was an entire game. What would be the first thing you start with?
So for collecting points.
Collecting points. All right. What were you gonna say? You had your hand up. You want to make a comment?
Heard of a game called Party Hard?
Yes.
Great conversation.
Question.
Yes.
Does this make use of the Surgeon Simulator engine?
All right. So yeah, a great prototype would have been the grabbing, just like you said. That would have been a great place to start. All right, you guys.
So ours is basically like a Mario Party minigame. It's an archery game where you shoot an arrow, and the person who shoots the worst ends up getting knocked out of the round. For our game mechanic, I was thinking about doing different hazards, like either the sun's shining in your eyes, or it's raining, they'll push the arrow down, or if it's windy, it'll push the arrow to side to side.
Cool. And then did you guys do one separately, or? It looks like you guys did.
No.
Nope. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, no, that's a perfect way to look at that. Like, the great prototype would be the different ways that things can affect the arrow. It'd be like, you create the arrow mechanics, and then you'd show off like, oh man, these sunbeams make it way heavier. I don't know why that was my example, but yeah, like
they're floaty.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Something along those lines, and then that's what you would show off to people. All right, you guys.
All right. So game idea. Think Civ descends into like StarCraft and/or PlanetSide. All right. And our prototype would be the actual descension. So you make the move, and then it takes you down into like the third/first person.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you actually like go down onto it.
Yeah.
So it'd be like going from God mode down to an actual soldier on the field.
Cool.
That'd be a perfect prototype. And that would actually be one of the more complicated ones, because you could actually make like a mock UI. It doesn't have to work. It just says like, hey, we have like the mini map here, unit selection. It shows which ones you are right here, but they're just like static images.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like the transition from there to there. But that gets your idea across perfectly. So that's a great place to start. You look like you were trying to nerd out about something.
I would play the crap out of it. I wouldn't ever buy another game.
All right.
It's obviously outdated and looks like
So
trash.
our idea was Kamikaze Cutie. You are a group of bunnies. Only one at a time is played, and you go around on a map. And things want to eat you, but fortunately for you, you have a self-defense mechanism. You explode and take them out with you. The goal is to have at least one of your bunnies or lives left over at the end, and all of the things that want to eat you and your kind. And then, of course, at the end of the stage, the bunny that survives goes and finds another bunny, and your next stage has more bunnies to go kaboom again.
Cool.
And
so then,
the mechanic is a field with a bunch of enemies moving around and exploding.
Perfect. That'd be fun to watch too. That would be an entertaining prototype to watch. All right, next team.
We kind of had separate versions. I don't know.
No, yeah. If you guys had separate ones, I made it really weird. So.
Prototype. 2D platformer, you swinging mechanism. You just tap on the screen somewhere and then it like moves your person to that. Like it's like you draw a line and then swing you there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and you can do lots of up and down and side to side.
Side to side, up, down, left, right, A, B, start. Okay.
So mine was similar. It was a 2D platformer, but it'd be side-scrolling, and the mechanic is that the lighting in the game gets darker to simulate running out of time, and there could be items that light back up.
Awesome. And those are really simple games. So sorry, I don't go ahead and continue setting up. But like those are really simple ideas, so they almost work as a prototype themselves. And then like once you make them not hacked together, they become the full game. So.
I'll say ours are separate too.
Okay.
Mine's a three-dimensional first-person puzzle-ish game, kind of like Portal, except for instead of portals, you have a gun that can like shoot air currents at a certain angle, and you can jump and glide. So like you'll be like in a cave with like black going down, and it's like a platform where like you have to like shoot to this wall thing, air current go like that to like jump and glide and go up to like the next platform to get.
Cool.
So the mechanic would be the air currents and gliding, and the prototype would be showing the air currents and gliding.
And gliding. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so mine was a 2D vertical platformer, but you're a fat kid, so you want to take the shortest way possible to get there. So after you eat so many like spicy burritos, you get like this fart booster that pops you up like 3 stages. So that's gonna be my mechanic.
You just work on the blasting and everything like that. Gotcha. Perfect. All right, you guys go ahead.
I'll go. So mine was like a tile-based, turn-based strategy game where it's all about stealth. And so you have enemies, but they only have like limited range, so you have to take them out without being detected by them. And you can also have it's a squad, and so you can set up like ambushes and sort of take them out before they see you type of game. And the prototype would be just getting the detection around the enemy going.
Cool. Yeah. Perfect.
So I guess my prototype was very similar to that one guy who just probably left, but it was actually where you have the chance to either play as the commander or you can play as the soldier and be able to switch between making calls on the battlefield and ordering where soldiers go around, or to actually play as the soldier and see if you can win the battle.
Cool. So how would you what mechanic would you make first to start that off to show off your mechanic or to show off your game? Would it be like the switching from commander to the soldier?
You'd have the option. You'd first pick if you want to either be the commander or if you want to actually stay the soldier.
Right. Okay. Cool. A great place to start making that. Oh, that was me. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. But it'd be really great. The idea of a prototype is to make something smaller to where you start. So what you would start from. And so a great when I mentioned with him a great idea would be to start with the great big overworld one down to the smaller one. That just shows off the idea of the game and makes it. It's like you could pull it up on your phone and be like, hey, look, I made something small and it doesn't take longer than 5 seconds to show the idea, right? It'd be something along those lines. But I mean, you have a great idea. I'm not knocking your idea. Okay, cool. So next team.
Okay, so we're going to present the concept and then
stand up.
Prototypes. Okay. We'll be a racing-esque, high-paced game where all players are tethered to the same block that's moving along a fixed track.
That sounds awesome.
Elements of collecting treasures or combat to get people away from your treasures. And so, prototype be moving block. You have a sphere, whatever what the player is, and then figuring out how, just getting the feel of flying along, being tethered along is probably the most important thing to nail that.
Yeah, perfect.
Right.
Yeah, just having the cars tethered to the block, just having the block moving around and then cars tethered to it, that'd be a great prototype.
Maybe also having the cars be controllable.
Oh yeah.
Be controllable.
Yeah.
The block and the cars.
Oh yeah, perfect. That's great.
So my main start was that tether mechanic, so I decided to come up with an idea of a really fast racing game, like rocket cars kind of racing, like Wipeout or F-Zero. But none of the players have any control over their forward velocity. It's all dictated by wherever in the map you are. Say, I don't know, if you went underwater for a point, you would slow down, but uniformly. So all you had control over was actually steering, maybe drifting. But it's all based around, the main mechanic would be finding a way to comfortably be able to race while not being able to control any of your actual velocity.
Oh.
Kind of reminded me of how I play most car racing. Well, those racing games where I just never let go.
Right.
Instead of actually learning how to play like that, or to actually like know when to let off the accelerator, I'm just gonna make everybody play like that. No brakes allowed.
Perfect. So then you just start with like the cars moving at the same speed at all times or whatever.
And then just work this.
Yeah.
And then that'd be where you start, and then you build from there.
To make that interesting and not just like normal racing. Like harder.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So do you guys think you kind of get the idea of like what a prototype is? It's where you start with a game. It's the main hook of it. So yeah, definitely use that to definitely use these ideas when making your games for the mini games, because since you only have about 60 seconds, you could just make a prototype and then give it some arbitrary goal. Say like, oh, you have this prototype and now you have 60 seconds to do it. Whoever does it first
60
wins.
seconds to rip out people's heart.
Yeah.
That would be simple enough.
Yeah, something along those lines. And so it's really great and absolutely perfect for this, for the mini games that you guys are gonna be making, if you're making one. But otherwise, I hope you guys had a great time.
That being said, if you want to expand on these ideas, we have that pitch jam coming up next Friday. So hold on to those ideas. If you really liked one you heard tonight, feel free to write it down, and then we can expand on it later.
On that Valentine's game.
Steal other people's ideas.
Yeah. All right. So that ends it. Don't forget, next week's meeting, we are not meeting here. It's Jamesport now. Next week's meeting is canceled for Jamesport now. So instead of coming here, go there. But we're gonna keep but like the next meeting we actually meet will still be workspace hours. So we'll be meet in person 2 Mondays from now. Make sense? It'll be on the calendar. You guys will see it. Otherwise, have a great night. Read Ryan's emails. Go forth and make games. And other cheesy stuff like that. So yeah. All right. I'm going to go give a little closing thing to our video.
Yeah, I'm like, I think you know what?
So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. If you watch us on YouTube, thanks so much for tuning in. We do this stuff for you kind of guys. It's not really for us. I mean, it is for us, but we do it for everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go forth, make games, be awesome. See ya.